Sa liwat po, maray na hapon po sa Gabos. And before I proceed further, I just would like to thank the organizers, of course, the Saysay Bikol, for inviting us here to present the findings and results of our recently completed and conducted research project on the re-indigenization of the Gipo Festival in Sangay. So next slide po. So as I've said, we work here as a team, and as I move further, I would like to recognize and, of course, appreciate the substantial support and assistance of my teammates and my colleagues who also collaborated with me in many ways in trying to, uh, of course, revive the original version of the Gipaw Festival in the municipality of Sangay. Next slide po. Right. So uh, the repackaged version of the paper I am trying to present this afternoon in this panel session is an offshoot, or yes, a repackaged version of the larger research project on the re-indigenization of the Gipo Festival in Sangay. And in this larger research project, we just wanted to first revive the Balalong as the source of rhythmic pattern for the Gipaw creative performance, as first performed by the contingents of the Sangay Central School in 1999. And we would like to demonstrate a deeper understanding of Balalong as a Sangainon Partiduanon cultural artifact and provide a case in point of a cultural festival with strong accuracy or precision to the cultural and indigenous roots. And last is to initiate a turning back to the indigenous and cultural roots of the Gipaw creative performances, despite the overwhelming impulses of the exaggeratedly colorful performances to boost local tourism and economy. So the issues that we have seen or encountered in that celebration of Gipo Festival really or largely influenced the formulation of the following objectives. And we wanted to really demonstrate to our fellow Sangaynons that what we were doing is quite at some point, given the further analysis and research, we have to do something about those issues. And those issues are, of course, can be justified in the works of literature or review of works of literature that we have conducted through the development of this research project. Next slide po. So the Gipo Festival is uh, originated from the traditional term that has been passed on to the generations. And gipao is a local term used by the fishermen to connote or to denote the myriad of fish or the group of fish. So pag sinasabing gipaw or pag sinabing gipaw, there's this an indication wherein there's this prosperity of fishing industry in Shanghai. And of course, on the level of lower level of fishing practice, when we say gipaw, that is to indicate na maraming isda na pwedeng mahuli. Dakol na sira ang pwedeng madako. Ayan po. So that's what we mean by gipaw. Next slide po. So, of course, through the initiative of Reverend Father Lorenzo Juan Harsha III, we fondly called him Father Luan Harsha. He became the parish priest around in the municipality of Sangay around 1996 or 1997 until 1999 before he left for another assignment, if I'm not mistaken, sa Iriga. He initiated this festival, and uh, this has become inevitable because of the fact that, as indicated or reported in one of the posts of the Saysay Facebook page, Saysay Bikol Facebook page. As we can see here, it's coming really from Saysay Bikol. He's a priest composer, so we can see that he's a talented individual. And with that, he was able to provide us a festival that is his lasting legacy. Next po. Next slide po. So we tried to authenticate. We sought the assistance of the parishioners to uh, authenticate the originality of the rhythmic patterns of the Balalong, which Father Luan has also left us in the municipality. And the parishioners, of course, as supervised here by the parish priest, the current parish priest, I presented the rhythmic patterns here of the Balalong. Then I asked them if it is indeed the original rhythmic patterns provided or left by Father Luan. And during the PPC meeting, the Parish Pastoral Council meeting, they unanimously approved or authenticated that that bit is originated or devised by Father Luan mainly for the celebration of the Gipao Festival. And just recently, I had a quite uh, surprising exploration or discovery that other than the rhythmic patterns which Father Luan has invented or composed, there's indeed rhythmic patterns that were practiced or were being used by the indigenous peoples currently residing in some of the uh, local areas or barangays in the municipality of Sangay. So we still have to document that, and the indigenous people even have their uh, appropriate or suitable uh, steps or choreography with regards to the rhythmic patterns they have. So we still have to delve further. So the question that is, of course, compelling on our part as researchers is, did Father Luan just accommodate their rhythmic patterns or adapted whatsoever? So we are still on the process of trying to explore more. And I'm going to say something about this revival later, or how significant this revival is. Next slide po. So, as I've said, it was inaugurated in 1999, but then around 1998, some contingents or performers from the uh, parish of St. Andrew in the municipality of Sangay have presented already sorts of choreography related to Gipao Festival in Pili. So, yes. And yes, Festival started to launch, or it was celebrated in honor of Saint Andrew the Apostle, the town's patron saint. Next slide po. So just a while ago, Sir Mon, coming from Catanduanes, I remember that, if I'm not mistaken, sir, Catanduanes also has this patron saint. And if I'm not mistaken, merong San Andres Catanduanes or port yan. Because I myself, being an ex-seminarian, meron po akong mga kaklase from Catanduanes. So just to share something. Right. So Saint Andrew the Apostle was installed by the missionaries, no, uh, in the municipality of Sangay. So he was installed as its uh, patron saint, mainly because Sangay is located or nearby the coastal areas. And in the Catholic Church, Saint Andrew the Apostle is being celebrated or honored every 30th day of November. Next slide po. So I would like to emphasize here my position as a researcher because uh, part of the abstract and the objective is I try to revive or resurrect, to re-implement reincorporate the previous practices on the Gipo festival, uh, which were lost already. And one of the main significant practice is, of course, the use of the balalong, or the bamboo percussion instrument. And uh, I had that kind of experience when I was still in kinder. At the time when the Gipo Festival was inaugurated in 1999, I performed as a fish. And when I got into higher grade level in the elementary education, so I started to play balalong, or the bamboo percussion instrument, and with that, I have a recollection, or a clear memory of how it is being executed or conducted in the manner, or how we celebrate Gipao Festival. And with this, I tried to recollect those memories, and uh, I tried to complement it with the memory of the lead choreographer in our time, si Ma'am Cirila Palma po, who was one of the uh, the leading choreographer in the version of the Sangay Central School in its inauguration of Gipo Festival in 1999. So there's this corresponding bit for every choreography. There's this kind of storyline. So yes, there's this process that is being exhibited during the performance. Next spot. So as I've said or reported earlier, the use of the balalong was lost, or it was forgotten, and due to the modernization, uh, I can still remember when I performed as a fisherman this time in the secondary education when I was in grade 8, now grade 8. At the time, second year high school. So I performed as a fisherman, and I clearly remember that the organizers, even the choreographers, used the music of the Sinulog Festival for our own festival. So there's this kind of modernization, and you can perceive here the issue on intellectual property right, if not plagiarism, because we adapted or we used different type of music in our own festival. So that's the first indication we're in. Personally, on my part as a researcher, parang meron ng misalignment and misrepresentation. So yun. And even worse, there were reports of the presence of the mythical figures in the festival. So personally, I find it really disappointing. I am disappointed in that kind of development. So with the incorporation of these colorful performances and other paraphernalia, uh, at the expense of the foundation of this cultural festival. So yun po. Next po. So as we can see here, these are the pictures that I got thanks to the support of the local government unit of Sangay. They have given me copies of the recently concluded or completed Gipo Festival in 2025. So as we can see here, there's this presence of the turtle. Sabi nga ni Ken Cansarong, ano nga itang may mga burubauo na we are supposed to celebrate or to feature or exhibit fishing practices, even the prosperity of the fish, or itong variations of fish of all kinds na nakukuha or that are being caught in the coastal areas in Sangay. So yun po. Next po. So next po, next slide po. So I got no issues with this strategy of the municipality in terms of to boost local tourism, but uh, while we can do that, I also stress the fact that we should not uh, uh, detach ourselves from the very foundation of our cultural festival because I've been arguing or contesting against the misrepresentation of our cultural festival, and I try to complement that issue of misrepresentation with the review I had with some of the works of literature, particularly in understanding the misrepresentations as quite obvious in the archival works or archival researches. So there's this kind of misrepresentation in the historical researches and historical writings, mainly propelled by the colonizers. So we follow this kind of trend, and we consider this as our framework. So it is in this context or framework that we better understand and scrutinize or examine the issue of misrepresentation in the Gipo Festival. Next slide po. So yes, I already stated that we got no issues whatsoever with the strategy of the tourism office or the local government unit of Sangay in terms of uh, tourism boost or to amplify is uh, tourism attraction or activity endeavor whatsoever. So we just want that we are emphasizing the fact that there's this kind of balance in the celebration of the Gipaw Festival. Yan po. Next slide po. So we were contending that if Gipaw is precisely defined and elucidated in the context of folk fishing method of or practices of the local fishermen, as predisposed by the insights of the following works of literature on the representation of cultural festivals, Gipaw should then be celebrated in the same manner, which accurately reflects the grassroots realities of the fishing industry in Sangay. So hindi po dapat nalalayo yung mga interpretations and yung mga performances. So as we have seen earlier, meron ng mga incorporations ng mythical figures, mythical characters, meron ng mga turtles which supposedly hindi naman po talaga dapat na incorporate. Yan po. Next slide po. So, yes po. Sige po, next slide. So, as I've said, we have complemented my personal recollection with how Gipaw Festival is being celebrated or with the use of the rhythmic patterns of the Balalong. And we sought the assistance of uh, Ma'am Cirila Palma. We visited her last year. So, nagsarang taon na itong interview. And we successfully later on revived this version in the municipality of Sangay during the 2025 Gipo Festival. So with me po, the choreographers and the researchers, so we had this kind of team or group. Next slide po. All right. So we sought we consulted with the mayor's office for us to uh, have that kind of revival. Successfully, we have revived uh, the original version of Gipo Festival. Next slide po. So these are just the evidence, that we had indeed revived the original version using the rhythmic patterns of the balalong. Next slide po. So supposedly merong mga movements po dito, choreography and rhythmic pattern, but unfortunately parang hindi po na-save masyado yung yung pag nag-upload ako, hindi na po na-save yung sound or yung video clip. Anyway, so there's this corresponding storyline for each rhythmic patterns. So there are three rhythmic patterns we have utilized, no, or we have uh, performed in the Gipo Festival. So we have rhythmic pattern one, so fish movements and fish hunting. And next slide po. For the rhythmic pattern number two, fisherman's haul or of bountiful fish, collection and selling of fish. Meron pong mga chant po dito. Next slide po. And the last but not the least, rhythmic pattern number three. And the storyline, corresponding storyline is the devotional dance in honor of Saint Andrew. Sige po, next slide. So I would like here, sige po, next slide, to emphasize the the cultural significance of this cultural artifact. So in our time, we only knew it as a butong, but we were not educated or we were not informed about the cultural significance of this percussion instrument. We simply knew it as the bamboo percussion instrument, butong. So we locally understand this kawayan or bamboo as a butong, which we use in the Gipaw festival. Next slide, po. But then, because of this research, I was further enlightened that this artifact possesses deeper historical and cultural significance. Next po. So these are the traces. These are the evidence that support our claim that in reviving the version of Sangay Central School using the Balalong as its source of rhythmic patterns or musicality. So this really supports us that in that kind of revival, meron kaming nagamit na artifact na talagang meron siyang deeper cultural significance. Sige po, next po. So, eto din, this is an illustration of Fedor Yagor's travels in the Philippines, his anthropologies, and he illustrated, he provided a sketch of uh, the Balalong when he traveled in the Bikol region. So, yun po. He even described that artifact. Next slide po. So, Father Philip Versabe encapsulated this artifact in his book. No, so yan. And other research also provided supporting evidence or claim that Balalong itself is a precious cultural artifact of or in the Bicol region. Next slide. Po. And of course, one of our colleges in Partido State University used the Balalong as its symbol. So, given these traces, we can say that indeed, Balalong is the cultural artifact in the Bicol region. Sige po, next slide po. Next slide po. So, the rhythmic patterns composed by Father Juan Harsha III exemplify a remarkable act of cultural ingenuity by transforming the Balalong, a traditional instrument primarily intended as a means of communication. So, from its level of utilization as a means to communicate. So Father Luan Harsha amplified the use of the balalong as a source of musicality for the uh, Gipaw festival. Regardless of the fact that balalong also was indicated in some research that it was being used in some of the rituals of the uh, our predecessors way back then. Next slide, po. It at some point, if one would argue that balalong is not a percussion instrument or this is not a musical instrument, so some other studies in the Philippines would support that claim or that ingenuity of Father Luan that indeed bamboo is also part of our culture, that it is also used as an instrument. Next po. So we used the revival of the Sangay Central School, the version of Sangay Central School, using the balalong as our centerpiece. That is the core of the revival or the re-indigenization because of the presence of the balalong. And we are arguing that we do not end right there. That is just an opening salvo for us to delve further. That is just a signpost for us to move further, to delve further, to investigate further on the cultural foundation of the Gipaw Festival in Sangay. Next slide po. So, sige po, next slide. So, this is what I'm trying to tell you, dear colleagues, that we are still on the level wherein we are trying to delve further to investigate more about the cultural foundation in Senate. This is just the start. This is just the opening salvo. And the revival of the balong in the Gipaw Festival is the defining image of that re-indigenization of Gipaw Festival. And having revived this uh, Balalong in the Gipao Festival, that establishes our claim that it is the only festival in Partido area which utilizes this artifact. And that makes our festival quite unique from the rest of the festivals in Partido area, if not in the Bicol region. So I guess I can end my presentation right here. So thank you so much for listening. Just mabalos po.
Diyos mabalos, Sir Marjun.